Alright, this will be the 2023 State Number Sense Guide. For this test, I'm going to try things a little differently because honestly, I think my previous guides have been on number sense have been honestly pretty terrible. So what I'm going, and I don't think they've met the intended purpose, which is to demonstrate how to do things faster and how to do things correctly. So for this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to not go through necessarily go through every single problem, but go over them and explain certain factors that can make them easier to solve or quicker to solve. Or if they're hard problems that you may not know how to solve, I'll describe how to solve them. So let's begin. This one, you're dividing by 5. Anytime you divide by 5, you should multiply by 2 basically. Multiply by 2, divide by 10 is the same as divide by 5. So simply multiply that by 2 and then divide by 10, which is pretty easy. You get like 343. This one, you want to be canceling out as many numbers as possible. So this 2 cancels out with this 8, and then you multiply everything together. So 7, oh yeah, and then this 4 and 12 cancels out, or 4 and 3 cancels out this 12. So you get 7 over 13 after all that. This is just add. This is just subtract. You should know how to do those. This should be memorized by now. If you've taken enough tests, you'll memorize it automatically. Okay, 48% to what fraction? This is 48 over 100. You have to divide by 4, and you get 12 over 25. This, 9 divided by negative 9 times 6. Then these 9s cancel out to make a negative 1. You get 9 there. This 10 power to 3 gets rid of this decimal and moves it over 3 spaces, and then you just do basic subtraction. This one, you gotta first think, okay, is 4/5 plus 1/4 going to be greater than 1? In this case, yeah, it will. So you gotta account for that. 3 plus 4 plus 1 is 8. And then you do your trick for adding fractions, which you should hopefully know. Okay, this one, this is basically 400 squared. 16,0,0,0,0. Okay, these two are all multiplied by the same, so 17 minus 20 is negative 3 times 23 is negative 69. Roman numerals, 1,000, 510, 518, or this is 5, this is 1, 518 plus 2,023. This, anything multiplying by 15 is the same as multiplying by 3 and divide by 2, and then you have to add it on to 0. So do that for this, 52 over 2 times 3, and 78, and then 2 zeros afterwards. Negative reciprocal, make this an improper fraction, flip the numbers, and make it negative. So 20 over 9, negative 9 over 20. 15, all this, divided by 3 is a remainder of what? Remainder of 3, add up all the digits. So, and then the remainder when divided by 3. 2, 2, 1. Okay, sequence here, what you do is find the sum of the first and end, 22. Find a number of terms, so 18 minus 4 divided by your common difference of 1, all plus 1, is 15 terms. 22 times 15, all over 2. 11 times 15, 11's trick, 165. 35% of that is how many ounces? Convert this to ounces, 44 ounces, 3 over 4 times that, and you get 33. This is 3 over 4. What something is 5 and 1/6 percent of 18? Convert this to an improper fraction, 16 over 3. You multiply that, 16 times 6, and then you have to divide by 100 because this is a percent. So 16 times 18 over 3 times 6, basically, so 16 times 6, 96, divide by 100, 0.96. 1927 squared minus 23. Okay, add these two, 50 times, subtract these two, 4, 50 times 4, move around stuff, 5 times 40. 37 divided by 5, basically, so times 2 instead, 74, And then you'll see that there should be 1 0 after it because that would make 3,700 divided by 5. Obviously, this in the hundreds. Okay, since these two are 5s, you do this squared, 81, and then 5 squared plus 9, so 34. For all these problems, if you want more detailed explanations, please read the Brian Heath booklet. I'm trying for this video to focus on explaining how to do things quickly rather than how to do things. If you want to know why you need to do them, read the Brian Heath booklet, basically. I can't teach both of them at the same time. I'm not good enough. I'm not a good enough teacher. I'm sorry. 70 times 0.8 times 90, so 70 minus 72. 8 times 9, and then 80%, so 72. Negative 2. This is x minus 3 squared. You can see this time, you can just see if you simplify it out and you'll start to recognize those things. A 6 goes into 36 2 times. Subtract that, 13 left goes into 6 2 times. Subtract that, you have 1, 2, 2, 1. Average speed of car traveling that in that time is what? Okay, in this case, speed is distance over time, so 279 over 9 over 2. 279 divided by 9, that's pretty close. 9 times 30 is 270, so 231, and then times 2 is 62. Okay, these add up to 1. 8 times 9, 72. 5 times 2, 10 over 49. This, if you flip this fraction, multiply them. 20 over 2 is 10, times 3 is 30, over 6 is 5, times 5 is 24. Okay, this plus 4 cancels out, this being less than 1900. 19 times 2, 38, 2 zeros. Okay, this 51 is gotten from a little more than 8 times 6, but this is also a little more than 8, so 6 should just work fine. 6 times 8 gets you that 51 we were talking about. 2 zeros covered for this, so you just have 2 zeros you need to put, 600. Okay, 144, or 140, yeah, 145 minus this 1 over 990, 144 over 990, divide each by 9, and divide it by 2, and you get whatever that is. 144 divided by 9, you get 8 over 55. That's definitely one of the harder problems. 11 times 6, 6 divided by 6 times 5, 11 over 11 times 5. So, and then you get your whole number, and then these two numbers multiplied over that is the fraction. Okay, series. This seems to be increasing kind of exponentially, which means it's likely a increasing common difference. Plus 6, plus 11, plus 16, indeed it is. Plus 21 to get to 55, plus 26 from 55 to get to whatever that is, but basically you can do 55 times 2 plus 26, so 136. This divided by 9 squared and this 4.5 squared is the same thing as divide by 2 squared, and then you can also apply that to that. So this is 9 squared, obviously. So multiply it by 4, you get 324, which is 18 squared. A is 18. Okay, this and more multiplying mixed numbers. 4 times 8, 14 over 7 times 3, 4 over 4 times 1. Okay, and you get your whole number, and then you multiply your fractions again. 36, 16 plus 17 times 18 plus 23. Mod each of these by 5. 1, 2 times 3 is 6. 1 plus 1 plus 3. This, convert it to base 4. You kind of got one thing you can notice is that 8, this 64 is the equivalent of 4. 8 squared is 4 cubed. So this 2 stays at the end, but with 3 stuff after it. So you just got to convert this to base 4. 8 times 2, 16, 18, and then that to base 4. Okay, let 2x squared plus kx minus 12 is equal to 0. Sum of the roots is that. Okay, sum of the roots, negative this over that, negative 5. How many integers between 5 and 24 relatively prime? Okay, your relatively prime thing, prime factors 2 and 1, or 3 and 2. So 2 over 6 times 24, 4 times 2 is 8. How many of these are relatively prime? 1 is, 2 is not, 3 is not, 4 is not, 5 is. You got your answer is 6. Okay, pair of these, 0, 0, a little greater, basically a little less than 23, but it's close, so 2300. This is super close to times 100, and the end is 4, so the only thing multiplied by 3 to get 4 that close is 8, 98. Find y, replace y with x here. You get 2x is equal to -1, so -1/2, I believe, and then -5/2 to get y. Okay, sum of the roots minus products of the roots. 3 minus 2 over 2, all over 2 is 1/2. Okay, these two cancel each other out because they're odd and even, or odd factor and same distance from 0 and 13. So you just have this 5 left over. Answer is 5. 6 power to 4 minus 2. Okay, 5, 5, 5, and then 6 minus 2 is 4. 5, 5, 5, 4. 3125 is the same thing as 5 power to 5, because 625 25 times 25, 625 is 5 or 4 fives, and then 3125. So 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 integral divisors. This 14 times -2, -28. Add 34 to that, so you get 6. 6 over 17 is your number, and you had to add 2 17, so 12. Okay, Fibonacci, you should know that. You just kind of got to add them. You can start with the fractions first. So 1/3 times 2 plus 2/3 is 1/3, or 1 and 1/3. And then conveniently, you're subtracting this 1 right here. So 1/3 at the end, and then this plus that, 2 times that. 65 and 1/3. Okay, this is 16 more than 16 squared, so 272, 72 at the end. And then 18 times 16 is 17 squared minus 1. You add back that 2, so 17 squared plus 1, 290 at the start. Okay, divide this by 2, multiply this by 2, and you get 70 times 140, which is 98, and then the appropriate number of zeros. This is like 4K, so 9,000, so 9800. Okay, this divided by that has a remainder of what? This is a second. This is going to take a bit, so 14 power to 12 mod 23. Because this is even, you can change it to 23 minus 14 power to 12. If you want a proof for that, you can ask me in person, or ask, hopefully, Ivan if I'm gone, or just prove it yourself. It's not too difficult. Basically, 14, now you have 9 powered to 12 mod 23. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 powered to 24 now, and now you can use your relatively prime. So 22 relatively prime to 23, numbers relatively prime 23. 3 powered to 2 is 9. Okay, actually, I don't think it's in the Brian Heath booklet, so I will explain. 24 mod 22 is 2, so you can replace 24 with 2 because this is number of relatively primes to the division. Okay, 7 and 1 over m times that. Okay, this is a little more than 6, so you have 6, 32. That simplifies out when you divide it, you get 3 over 2 there. So your divisor here is 2. So 6 plus 2 is 8. Or sorry, no. 2 minus 6 is -4. A plus B plus C. Replace 1 in here. -3 squared is 9, because this 1 gets rid of all that. Third term in the expansion means x squared y squared in this case. So you equal number of this, 6 times 4 combination 2, which is 6. 216, and then you have four exponents combined on the x and y, so 220. A plus B, use FOIL. 15, 21. I personally do 15, and then 29, 35, and 0. Okay, this in simplified form. This is 49 square root of 7. 7 squared times square root of 7. 49 square root of 7. 49. Okay, opposite squares. 42 or 24 times 25 over 2 is 300, and it ends out on a positive number, so positive 300. Okay, this, what do you know? This number is 1 greater than that. This 1 is greater than 1 by that. This 1 is greater than this 10 by 1, and these two 10s add up to 10, or this 1 and this 10 added up to 10, so 49 plus 16, 65, 65, 65 is your answer. Okay, some value times 2 times this 2 here. Some value when multiplied by 2 and then a 2 again gets you 12. A is 3. 3 times 2 times 2 is 12. Gets this 12 right here. Pair into threes. 3 pair, 3 pair, 3 pair, that's important. And then a decent bit less than 4 cubed. So like 3, 370, 380 maybe. They do go down a lot. I would go 380. Find the odds of an integer picked at random between that and that is prime. I guess I haven't talked about it. The prime series from 0 to 9 and then 10 to 19 and etc. There are 4 primes, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1. 4, 4, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1. And it's important to note that the 3s are at 40 and 70. So this includes 2, 3, and then 2 for 30 to 50. 31 is prime, 59 is prime, so 5 primes. And then there are 27 numbers, 59 minus 31 minus 1, between 31 and 59. So 5 over 22, because it's odds. This, take out 3 squared, so 3 square root of 3. Take out 6 squared plus 6 square root of 3. 9 square root of 3, 81 times 3 is 243. Okay, this divided by that has a remainder of what? Okay. This acts as a 10, doesn't it? I believe it does. Yeah, this acts as a kind of a 10 of sorts. So, actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it does, right? I remember this on Regen. There's a way I've solved it before, but I think I might have just gotten it right by chance. Oh, it's okay. There's some interesting part about it. 10, or first off, let me go with the method I know works in this case. 8 plus 8. 3. Now let me try the method I think would work. Okay, they're the same thing. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is correct. I'm sorry for taking so long. This when multiplied by 2 gets you 1, 1, which acts as your 11 rule. So 8 minus 1 plus 7 minus 2 is 13. 13 divided by 3 has a remainder of 3. 3 p's is equal to 4 q's, and 2 q's is equal to 5 r's. 1 p is how many r's? Okay, 1 p is 4 over 3 q's, and then that's multiplied by 5 over 2, so 20 over 6 or 10 over 3. Harmonic mean of the roots. This 6 times this exponent 4 multiplied by negative 1 over your 35, so 24. This, your x cubes tricks, this squared, minus 3 times that, which gets you 37 times 5. 37 over 2 is 18.5 times 10, 185. This, multiplied by 6, 96 times 5 factorial, multiplied by 5, 48 times 10, 480 times 4 factorial, 500 times 4 factorial, 24 over 2, 12, and then 3 zeros, I believe. Yeah, 3 zeros. Negative 6 minus x is equal to negative 6 plus 4. That's how determinants work. So you basically do that equation and figure out x. Given this series right here, k is equal to what? This seems like, what is this? It's increasing, interestingly. It is increasing the amount it increases by, so it's 1, 1. Oh, this is a split series, isn't it? Okay. A trick, if it starts at 1, 1, like that, it's likely a split series. Oh, I don't know, actually. Is it? There's something about it. I remember figuring it out. Sorry, the 2023 series are easily the hardest part of the number sense test. I've forgotten some of them. I have 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 10, 16. Oh, 0, 2. Right. This is Fibonacci on the term you are adding. So plus 0, plus 2, plus 2, plus 4, plus 6, plus 10, plus 16, plus 26 gets you 67. Okay, there are 231 cubic inches a gallon. Divide this by 231. That's like 69, or 23 times 3 is 69. That's about half the way of 23 over that. So like 3.5. These explanations suck, but whatever. 3.5, 231 gets rid of 2 zeros. So you have 3 digits left over. 3500. Secant of sine -1 at 0.6. You might remember the 0.6.81 right triangle. This is just that. 4 over 5 is cosine. And then 5 over 4 because it's secant. So inverse. Round this to the nearest 10th place. The second hardest part about these problems, the irrational numbers. 1.732 times 2, like 3.45 essentially. A little greater than that, 3.46. And then 2.23 times 4 is like uh, 8.9. So 8.9 plus 3.4 or 3.45. You are having to round up to that. So a 9 plus. So basically 12.4, I believe. Let me just check that. I hate explaining numbers since when and I can't do it in person and I can't take questions. I promise I can explain things better in person. Please ask me. I think I do a decent job at it. I just don't do it very well on these guys. Anyway, remainder when that is divided by that, you do -1 of the opposite of that. So plug in -1 in this. -1 minus 5, yada yada yada. You know how to do that. Okay. This base 7. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37, and you're dividing by 7 squared, so 49. This derivative, this is chain rule, so 3 times this 5 that you get from plugging back in, power to 3 minus 1, so 2. 25 times 3, and then you're also multiplying by this 3 through chain rule. So 225. If you want to prove that, learn chain rule. But in other words, you can kind of just remember this times that plus this power to that minus 1. Okay, this is converted to Cartesian. Cosine of 2 pi over 3 is -1/2, so -2. Integral from 0 to pi of 2 cosine of x squared dx is that what? Well, we talked about this before, where sine squared from half that distance is 1/2. So multiplying by 2 because it's double the distance, multiplying by 2 because it's 2 is 2. And if you want to understand how I got integral from sine to sine squared from 0 to pi is is 1/2 pi, please watch my previous video. 24 power to 8 divided by 6 has a remainder of what? This number is humongous and it doesn't have a decimal. Your remainder is 0. 24 divided by 6 cancels itself out. Okay, your cube, 2 cubed, 8, 2 cubed again, basically, times 3, 2 cubed times 3, 24, 28, 24, 24, 24, 8, or 08. 5 over 9 times 90, 50 over 25, 2. 2 times 1,000, 2,000. Okay, that's the problem. I don't know if this format is helping, but I guess I'm going to I might lean into the thing where you do have to understand how to solve the problems, and this is a guide on how to do it quickly. I may go into that for 2024. I'm sorry, I promise you I can give better explanations in person, and I think my other guides on other subjects are actually pretty decent. So check those out if you want to learn them. All right, see you.